All right, good morning. It is Wednesday, the 22nd of April. I haven't been doing YouTube regularly for a little while, but the system I'm now trading of school run and soon to be brunch break, which we'll go through in a minute, they're settled now, and I'm confident with it, and I feel good with it, and I want to have the trades going forward be recorded so that I can look back and analyze the trades now that I know and I'm confident that each trade will be the same as the last in terms of system behind the execution. Markets just opened this morning. There was a sell-off yesterday as Trump refused to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, but we've made at least 50% of the recovery overnight already, and we're opening above the overnight range. So we will see what happens. It feels like it's been a while since we opened outside the overnight range. If we look back a little bit, all of these markets opened within the overnight range, and that's really just been the story of the market the last few weeks. I'm trying to find the last time we opened outside the range. Be here back on Wednesday the 1st of April, so it's 3 weeks ago today since we last opened outside of the overnight range. I mean, that says a lot. That does really say quite a lot. So we have our data here. We have our variables. This is all for trading school run, whether the market gaps up or down. The result of bar 1 and bar 2 on the 15-minute, whether it's red, green, or indecisive. Where bar 2 closes relative to the first bar. Where bar 2 closes relative to the overnight range. Where school run triggers, whether it's above or below the second 15-minute candle, and whether the traditional school run or the anti-school run won, lost, or was break even. Traditional is buy above, sell below, and the anti is the opposite, so it's buy below and sell above. And then finally, where the school run bar closes relative to 3 key levels of the previous day's high, previous day's close, previous day's low. I'm also doing something, I'm doing the same thing for brunch break, which is for the 7th 15-minute candle. So school run is the 2nd, this is the 7th. Different variables, but similar idea. We'll go through that later on, and I am tracking all my trades. First trade I took was a month ago, but within that time I've had many days off, so I've not traded a huge amount in the last month, as you can see by the number of trades. It's not massive. Also, the market has been, due to the Iran war, the market has been tricky to navigate. I'm not saying it's made it, the results particularly bad. It's just made it very inconsistent market because it's just reacting to mainly what Trump is saying. But yeah, the goal of these streams is to record and then clip each trade that I take. So currently it will just be 1 trade that I take per day. If the setup materializes, once I start trading brunch break as well, then it could be 2 trades per day. So there's not a whole lot to do in the first 15 minutes. One thing we do want to consider is different possibilities of what might happen today. If this does turn into a bull trend, we want to think, okay, where are sensible targets? We're already 100 points above yesterday's close. I think the breakdown really started yesterday, or at least resumed at 3 o'clock yesterday. So the bottom of yesterday's overnight range could be a good place to look to get back to, or maybe where we opened yesterday, slightly higher. I think we're bullish as long as we can hold these pre-market levels, these 7 a.m. levels here. As long as we can hold that, I'd say we are bullish. If we break down and test the previous day's close, then you might start looking back for a continuation to the downside. But yeah, so for the next 10 minutes, not a whole lot to do. And then at 1:15 or around then, we will start to filter our data and start comparing today's price action to previous examples and seeing what the probability of success is going to be today. I may as well take you through what I'm doing with the brunch break strategy while we've got some time. So this is the seventh 15-minute candle rather than the second. So it's the 9:30 to 9:45 candle. So we've still got gap up or down. We've got the shape or the result of the brunch break bar, which we've got both of these in our school run strategy as well. This is where it now starts to change. So relative to open, so are we above, below, or at where the market opened at 8 o'clock? How does the brunch break bar close relative to the previous bar? Where does the brunch break bar close relative to the overnight range? So we've also got that in the score run strategy, as well as whether it triggers above or below. And then same traditional ante, whether it won, lost, or was break even. And also key level. And then I've added an extra one of the market conditions. Have we been in an uptrend, a range, a downtrend? Have we been in an uptrend, but then it's turned into a trading range? All different scenarios. So this is also one of Tom Hugard's strategies. And yeah, I'm just repeating the same sort of idea of wanting to get some data behind it. But yeah, it's been going well. I'm currently up to, where am I up to? September of last year. So over halfway. I'll be doing a load more. We'll try. I want to get it done at the latest by the end of next week. And then with the view of starting to trade it as soon as I've finished collecting the data. Currently, we're looking at an indecisive first 15 minutes. We'll see if it can close strong or weak. Okay, so the first 15 minutes has closed red after a strong first 5 minutes. So I'm just starting to look at some potential scenarios for what might happen this morning. So if we do have 2 consecutive red bars, I think we're likely to be doing an anti-buying below. If we get a green bar, so if this turns around and closes higher, then we'll also be looking for a long position. So we're looking at bullish trades currently. So what this sheet is doing is I'm able to look at previous examples and to see what's happened. So what you're seeing here is when the first bar is red, second bar is green, above the overnight range, above the previous day's close. And you can see that on five out of 8 occasions, buying above the school run bar would be a winner. On three of the 8 occasions, it would be a loser. So if this looks like it may end up happening, we'll look back at the charts and we'll see, okay, is there any reasons why it won or why it lost on these particular days? If we look at what happens when we've got 2 consecutive red candles, above the previous day's close. If then we have a position triggering above that bar, that's only happened twice with a 50% success rate. So that would not likely be a trade that we would take. If it triggers below, the ante is won 3 out of 5 occasions. So on a separate screen, I've got the slides of previous days. So we can go through the red-green scenario now. So the first time this happened was the 15th of January last year. So 15th of January. You see, hopefully you can see this. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit. Down here where my cursor is, first bar is red, second bar is green. Interestingly, the second bar closed the gap to the previous day, and then we had a very, very, very strong bull trend. The next time was the 20th of February. Here we go. Red bar, green bar, and then a push to the upside. Took a little while to get going. Then it's the 18th of June. Red bar, green bar, push to the upside before a downtrend later in the session. And then you've got the 8th of July. Red bar, green bar, very slow bull trend. And then the 10th, red bar, green bar. Not sure if that actually triggers. And the final 2 examples is the 19th of November. Red bar, green bar. This was a loser on this day. And then the 17th of December. Red bar, green bar. This would probably be a break-even trade, but we have the previous day's high acting as resistance, and that isn't a problem today because our previous day's high is all the way up here, 250 points away. So that really isn't really a factor today. So we had a strong push, but this 5-minute candle is struggling now. 30 seconds to go. Be interesting to see where this closes. So if that does happen, where we get we get a red bar then a green bar, we definitely want to look to be long. Let's have a quick look at the 2 consecutive reds. (16th of January). This is a 5-minute chart, so it's a little bit tricky to see. But this would have been a break-even trade. Then you have the February. Red, red. Here we go. This is near the bottom of the overnight range, so quite a different situation. And the 24th of Feb, red, red, buy below, again though near the bottom of the overnight range. And the 23rd of July, red, red, buy below. And then finally we've got the 27th of January this year. Definitely not a day to be buying below. So let's look at what we've actually got this morning. We've essentially got a trading range with the market trying to hold above the overnight range. I would consider it a risky buy down here on an ante, given that we are 50 points away here from where we would close the gap. Gap fill would be quite likely, not guaranteed at all, but likely. Buying above is risky because you've got this gap here where we've got a lower low, a risk of sellers coming in above prior bar high. going to show you one of my live accounts as we are 10 seconds away from the completion of the school run bar. Now it's looking like it may actually be closing red, which does certainly change how we want to be navigating this trade. So this is a fairly unique situation. 2 red bars, but holding at the top of the overnight range. I'm going to place my buy orders above. So the market's hovering near my order. Now my buy order is just half size. I've got a 50% stake size here. Annoyingly, my screen keeps cutting out, which is extra frustrating. So this scenario of having two consecutive red bars is brand new. Essentially, there's pretty much no data behind this to which to trade with, and we've got the previous day's close down here at 24,270, and I just feel like the probability of the market coming down to test this level is, well, I have no idea what probability is, but it's quite likely. It is quite likely. So I just don't really want to be in a long position at this point. But I also don't want to be short because we are above the previous day's close and we are very close to the overnight range high. So this just feels like a position where I really don't want to be long or short. So just to summarize, I did enter half size. The market did not feel right. I decided to close for break even. Now, if the market does end up coming back up and trigger along above, then that's a much better place for me to enter, because I feel like that would be the market proving itself to be Now, if this does end up moving up, then I cannot be frustrated for coming out of the trade, because it didn't feel right and I didn't have the data. So it really does feel like a coin toss. So I cannot be frustrated for not participating in a coin toss. Okay, so we're still hovering below the school run bar. So I still think the market's more likely to continue lower and close the gap than it is to move higher immediately. Now, I really have no idea what's going to happen. But if you haven't got data with which to trade with, then you really want to make sure the market at least really feels like it's strongly biased in one direction, and it really doesn't feel like that. So I'm absolutely happy with my decision to close at break even. Now, I still am also very happy not to be short. So we're just going to chill out, essentially, and let this market play out however it wants. Now, there seems to be a problem with my streaming when I try to display my funded account, because now I'm back to displaying trading view. It's not crashing. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but I need to make sure it doesn't keep crashing, because the whole point is that I'm able to display my trades, record it, and then put it all together and review it. So if it does crash, I apologize. I'm not entirely sure what that's all about. It seems to only happen when I have 3 screens all active, but there's nothing I can do about that because I need the 3 screens. So it just is what it is. So the live stream that I usually watch, or have been watching, it's normally Tom trading, but on Wednesdays it's one of his friends that does it instead, who's also a trader. He's short the DAX on a school run, short down here. I just went and had a quick look at what he's doing. So that sort of sums up what's happening today. Is 2 people trading the exact same strategy are doing the opposite things, which is that sort of sums up the market today, where it is just indecisive and very, very difficult to really have any clear gauge of what the hell's going on. Now, my gut is definitely still feeling more bullish than bearish. Certainly not strong enough to actually want to place a trade. But I certainly wouldn't want to be short. Just again, one of those mornings. There's just a lot of mornings like this right now, but just one of those mornings where just not losing is as good as winning. Okay, so correct decision to get out of the long position when we did. Now the market is crawling down to the previous day's close. But it really is crawling. So when you look at this price action, red, green, red, green, red, green, I don't really feel like I wanted to be in a short position either. I'd only be in about 10 points of profit if I was in a short position right now. And the market is back up again. It's just absolute crap this morning from a trading perspective. Absolute crap. Now I'm still bullish. I said the first thing this morning, if we hold these overnight levels, then I'm bullish. But there's no momentum. There's nothing going on. There's no good place to get into a trade. Yeah, so I'm going to call it there. My plan is to be live every day. But yeah, so I'm really excited about this going forwards because I am extremely confident going into every session now. I really know what I'm doing, and it's just about following the process. And once the market starts to get going again, then so will the profits. But there is no trading strategy in the world that is going to make you much money when the market is like it is today. There's just nothing to be done. And you look at yesterday, trading range. You look at Monday, trading range. Friday, uptrend. We made a good trade here, live on YouTube. Trading range. Trading range. trading range, right? So the last couple of weeks, it has been incredibly range bound. Trading range, downtrend, but I wasn't trading on this day because this was the Easter holidays. So this is I was off on this week. So yeah, just got to stay patient. But this is the way to go, and I will be shortly resuming my research here with brunch break carrying on from September, looking to get as much of that done by the end of the week as possible. All right, cool.